Hello Ospreys, my name is Tony. Every week I scour the indie game website itch.io and pick 5 games to play. This week I just chose some on random choice that I thought were pretty interesting. After playing through them, I'll tell you which games you'll enjoy and which you should avoid. This is Games Jam. Caroline is a simple mixture between Celeste and Portal. You have the art and style and structure of Celeste with the addition of a portal gun and a GLaDOS-like character that you meet every single level. It reminds me of a more serious Mario, which was a game that was Mario but with a portal gun, and I feel like this takes that kind of idea and just adds a little bit more oomph to it and makes it a little bit more serious and more developed. I really like the mixture here, but I wish they kept the dash that Celeste has. I feel like that would have led to an interesting set of levels and designs. I also wish there was more thought put into the placement of the portal walls, as right now it seems pretty standard and not that creative. But besides all of that, I think that the concept is phenomenal. The puzzles are pretty challenging, and I think the optional strawberries added a good bit of challenge to the game. I'd love to see more of a combination of ideas, as right now it seems like the portal gun is outweighing the platforming aspect of the game. But I definitely think this mashup was successful, and I'd love to see more of it. Jelly Drift is a game that takes inspiration from drift animes like Initial D. The whole game takes drifting to an entirely different level. It takes very little effort to drift. All you have to do is hold left or right for just a little too long. I think that it's a bit too sensitive, as it's hard to properly gauge where you're going to end up, and it can be hard to actually turn in a serious manner. As of right now, it's very much you spiral out very, very quickly, and it can be frustrating because the computer driver is driving completely normal and is basically going straight on the track. If the computer reacted the same way as the player and had the same struggles as the player, I feel like it would be a lot better, but as of right now, it feels like a mismatch of a silly arcade-style racing drifting game and a serious racing game where, in order to progress, you have to beat the enemy. I think making the computer follow those same rules would really help a lot, and it would make the game a lot more silly in my opinion, which is what I feel like this game is trying to go for. As of right now, it kind of falls a little bit flat, but I still think you should at least try it. But I think that adding that addition from the developers would be very helpful. Heatwave is a pixelated fighting game that has some good concepts and a few problems. To be honest, I'm not the best at fighting games, so I might not even be the best judge for this, but I think the pixel art makes the game too hard to understand. It's just so busy, and it's so hard to read what's going on sometimes, and sometimes it's even hard to read the text because of the choices that the developer made in the beginning of development. And because of those choices, the game is kind of hard to understand. It can be hard to tell what's going on, it can be hard to read things, like I said earlier, and I think that because of those choices, it really brings the game down a lot. I think the fighting mechanics are pretty good, but it takes a lot to understand, as it does with most fighting games. And I think the game's okay overall, and I would say that you should probably give it a play, at least give it a try, but personally, the graphics made it hard for me and unfun for me, so wouldn't recommend it, but I think that it still is worth trying at least. Summit is a hiking game that's focused on a crafting, survival kind of vibe that I think is pretty relaxing. I wish the game was expanded on a bit more. As of right now, there's not much to do besides walk and eat food, with occasional crafting. I think there's not enough interesting moments to make the game worthwhile. The environments are kind of samey and kind of boring, which makes the hiking aspect of the game kind of moot, as there's no interesting environments, like a game like Firewatch, where every environment kind of feels beautiful in a way. I think that if they really improved the environment and spent a lot of time on environmental design in this game, I think it would be perfect, and I think it would really get that vibe it was going for. I also think adding a bit more crafting and a slightly bigger inventory would just be great. And it would make the game a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable for me. I think when all of those are added, it's a definite recommend. Otherwise, you should probably give it a try and see if you like it in any way. Saturn is a super fun twin-stick shooter that makes me want to play it for hours. It's simply move and shoot, like standard game stuff, with the addition of different enemies and friends you need to collect for extra lives. I wish there were more weapon variety. As of right now, it's just power-ups, and those come so sparingly and can be a bit boring just using the standard gun. Besides that, though, I think the enemy variety is amazing. There's so many cool ideas here that make unique systems and makes the game super hectic. I love the enemies that will kill your friends and then turn them into bombs that come after you. I think that's a great design. You have the guys that go into the corners and spawn people that will chase after you. And I think that each of those enemies having different patterns and different ways that they move and react to the player make them each really interesting and unique, and each give them a little bit of personality, which I think is honestly amazing. I would highly recommend this game. Hey, thanks for watching, Ospreys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at UNF Spinnaker TV. Remember to stay safe and wear your mask.